Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Orange Butterfly Effect. If you are watching this episode, you may notice that the sun is shining in today, and I think that is right on cue because I am here with the bright and fabulous Amanda Weron. Amanda, welcome to the Orange Butterfly
Hello.
Effect.
Thank you so
Hi.
much for having me, Michelle. I'm so excited to talk to you today. This is awesome. What a great opportunity to have me on your show. I can't wait.
I am so excited for you to be here. And as we were just chit chatting before the show, I was saying that I was doing my homework and I've listened to you a lot and been absorbing all of your content. And you are just so light and bright and inspiring. So, what I'm going to do first is introduce you as I know you.
Okay, perfect. I love that.
Okay. And then can you fill in the gaps if I've forgotten
Absolutely.
anything or if there's anything
Yes.
else you want to share?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, here we go. So, you are a business owner, a mentor, a mama of two, under 3 and 3 months old, a wife. You are vibrant and you are full of passion.
Oh,
What
love
else?
that.
What did I miss about
I
Amanda?
really think that was a pretty good synopsis. I love that you really put mentor in there because that is kind of one of the big things that I'm moving forward this year with in the salon setting. You said mom of two, so when I had my son, I made the decision to cut down from behind the chair, so I'm only maintaining 12 hours actually working with my clientele and practicing my art, but the remainder of my time in the salon setting now is mentoring the new generation of stylists. This past year, I brought on my very first assistant. She worked side by side with me while I was pregnant with Elliot. And she took over my clientele on my return for maternity leave. So she went from freshly graduated, went through my entire mentor assistantship program, and now she's fully booked behind the chair. So that is kind of my goal moving forward. So love the mentor part because that really is kind of what I'd like to encompass in my professional life moving forward.
Yeah, mentors. Thank you for being a mentor to others. That's a difficult job to take on.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it's so rewarding too. I think our industry is one that makes it difficult to feel like you have someone to go to in a mentor opportunity. One of the really big things that I did with the salon was make it be an open communication, collaborative space. So not only am I mentoring these girls, but I have a staff of stylists who've been behind the chair, going on 10 years to 2 years to 1 year. There's just so many different walks of life when it comes to experience in the salon setting, and we utilize that to the best of our ability. So not only am I kind of like head honcho mentor, I helped create the education system that we have, but just the team that I've created in the time that I've owned the salon is one that is just meant to help build any person who joins our team. So that's kind of our really big goal there.
Yeah, it's so wonderful that you were able to create that foundation. And I know you've mentioned your mentor before. You had a mentor, right?
Yes,
Before you
yeah,
took
of
over. We're
course.
going to talk about the
Yes.
transition of you
Yeah,
becoming a business
absolutely.
owner. But I remember you sharing that you had a mentor. And I think we're around the same age. One thing that I find being a young professional is that I really lean on my mentors for support and advice because I haven't experienced some of those things quite yet. But the
Yeah,
more that I can
absolutely.
learn about what might come, or, of course, to ask for advice when I'm having an experience and it's my first time, but it might be someone else's 10th time, is really transformational. So now you're in the driver's seat.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a windy road, but it's a fun drive, so
Yes, I love that. It is always a fun drive. Get the windows down, turn the music up,
Yes.
and we're okay, right?
Right? Yes, absolutely. Play your favorite Taylor Swift album and let's go.
Let's go. So I want to reference, I was listening to your episode of the Getting to Know the 570 podcast, and that was in February of 2024.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So when I was listening to you and just knowing you, you're so dedicated to your hometown and to your community. I always like to think of a theme before I jump into an episode. Not that we need to stay on that theme, but I just like
Yeah.
to kind of set the tone for myself. And when I was thinking of you, I was really thinking of this question: to stay or to go? Because you decided to stay in your hometown, but there was a time when you were living in Harrisburg and you also were working at Disney World for 8 months.
Yeah.
So can we start there? Think back to that February 2024 to now. What's happened, but ultimately, why did you decide to stay instead of move away?
So for me, especially when it came into the business ownership of it, I took over ownership of the salon back in November of 2023 because my mentor and the previous owner of the salon, Maria, was relocating with her family to Pittsburgh. And at that time, my options were, I could take over ownership of the salon, I could rebuild the brand, make my own salon setting essentially, or I could start over. And for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to establish where I was. Like you said, hometown is a really big thing for me. I am like born and bred mountaintop. I love to giggle about my grandma graduated from Crestwood, my mom graduated from Crestwood. Like we are mountaintop people. So for me, it just made sense for that to be um where I started my business endeavor. And it's been fantastic because one thing about Mountaintop and one thing I really love about it is the community that's there. So even people who weren't previous clients of the salon prior to my ownership had said, "Oh, well, you're like a mountaintop girly. We had to come. We had to see what's this about." And since then, our clientele has grown exponentially. So for me, staying in my hometown has just benefited my business tenfold than the option to go elsewhere. And outside of the professionalism of it, outside of like the business aspect of it, like this is where my family's at. My sisters
Mhm.
are here, my mom's here, my husband's from Nanny Coke, so he's from the valley, but we're from this area. And for me, I knew even back then, like eventually I'd want a family, and just having that village and having that support system is so important. And I think it's what's helped me be as successful as I am now. My daughter was just a year old when I took over the business, when I opened the business myself. So having that village of my personal family around me made such a difference in my professional career. I feel like sometimes our area gets a bad rap for stuff like that, but I'm a really big believer in like things are what you make it. If you surround yourself with negativity, if you surround yourself with negative thoughts in the space that you are, that is what is going to bring to you versus making the best of the situation that you're in. And not that it's a bad situation, but I have so much more respect now, even going into it as a business owner, for our hometown and for the support that people from Mountaintop give to people of Mountaintop. It's an amazing thing to see how our community is like reaches out to one another. And it's something that I love about it. And now being in the business for almost 2 years, I have the opportunity to give back to the community that gave to me. So I love
Yeah.
that. Absolutely.
And let me say the name of your business because I haven't gotten there yet. So, Hue Hair Lounge. You are the owner of Hue Hair Lounge, and you've
Yes.
created such a positive space talking about the power of positivity and radiating that through our community in Mountaintop, but I would say also regionally based on all the work that you're
Oh,
doing.
thank you. Thank you. I love
Yeah,
that.
of course. So, talk to me about what it was like when you were starting and taking over the business. We talked about you having a mentor, but were there any moments, was anyone speaking to the negativity that can come when deciding to stay and not move away or ingrain yourself back into your community, right? Were
Yeah,
there any but moments for you like, "Oh, but Amanda, there's so much competition, but you're a mom. How are you going to juggle being a business owner and a mom? Why don't you just work for an established salon?" Did you get any of that, or did you feel like that didn't make
absolutely.
its
I
way into your
mean,
vortex?
honestly, it was more like self-speak at that point. Where I was in my career, I was 6 years in, I was an established stylist where I was, and at that time, had Maria not made the decision to relocate her family, I probably would have just stayed where I was. Owning a salon was never on the radar for me. But just I'm a very headstrong person, and I was like, "No, I don't wanna like, this is my space, this is where I've been, this is what I wanna do." And at the time, it was myself, Maria, and we had an assistant. So when I took ownership of the salon, technically, I was the only stylist, and then Jill, who was our assistant at the time, started on as a stylist as well. While I was transitioning on the salon, I brought on another stylist, Nicole. She's been with me since the very beginning, but it went from being just me and Maria to basically just me until I had Nicole start up. So it was very nerve wracking. I was really intimidated. There was a lot of like self speak of doubt and can I do this? And is this the right choice to be made? Because I was a brand new mom. Like I had a
Yeah.
family that I like. Obviously, my husband is a huge support system and he was supporting whatever decision that I made, but my mentality was like, it's not just me that I have to support now. Like I have this tiny little human being that depends on me, and I need a sustainable job, and I need to be able to be in a career that's sustaining to our family. So it was really nerve-wracking. The scariest thing I ever did, but the best thing I ever did, because
Oh,
I learned so much about myself, about what I'm actually passionate about in our industry, by going through these steps and making this choice to transition from stylist to salon owner.
for sure. And you said something. I have a quote from you. You were describing your services. And again, this quote was from 2024. So maybe things have evolved, and tell me that too. But you were describing this I woke up like this feeling. That's what you provide your clients with.
Yes.
But when you describe being a business owner, you do it with such grace. It's almost like you feel like that, or you make it feel like it's you just woke up like this and you were able to succeed and transition naturally. Was it that easy and seamless, or were there challenges that you just are there behind the scenes and you were just showing up as a positive light? Walk me through the reality.
Of course, there are challenges. There are challenges even to this day, reconfiguring the salon setting. I went from a team of 3, we're now a team of 10. So figuring out that, having those moments of, readjusting, changing the function of the salon setting, all of those things, transitioning from a stylist behind the chair to now the salon owner. I used to go in, do my clients, and go home, and that was kind of it. I am never off the clock now. So when I say I woke up like this, like I don't ever think I sleep like this. Like I am always like this.
Yeah.
So there definitely was some moments of, oh crap, there's still to this day 2 years in, but in owning the business and having a staff, I have found, like, a part of me I didn't even know existed. The mentoring opportunity, the creating a space that is not made for every stylist or every service provider, but that is perfectly curated to be for the people that are in our space is so important to me. In this past year. Obviously, I had Maria as my mentor to really get started, but in doing the business ownership and wanting to create this, I always say, like, I'm not just here to have this little salon, I'm here to create an empire. I tell that to
Mm,
the girls all the time.
yeah.
But I've worked with other business consultants. I have a business consultant actually in September of last year, went out to California and did a mentorship program with a celebrity stylist. But I utilize that, and by having these opportunities I've learned that, like, this was part of me, or like something I was so passionate about that I didn't even know I had a passion for until I
Mm,
was thrown into it. um when it was when I was working for Maria, it was just me and her for years. It was 2020 when COVID closed. Two of our stylists had chosen to transfer to other salons. So from that point until I bought the salon in 2024, it was just the two of us. And so even that dynamic was s like, daunting, but I love it. Like, we say, like, no one is ever alone in the salon. We are always just loud and funny and having a great time, and that was an environment that I really wanted for my team, but also for our clientele that come through the door. I hear it all the time. Everyone is so comfortable with everyone that's in the salon
mm.
space, and I think my return from my maternity leave really speaks to that. I was laughing the other day. I did my mom's hair for the first time in 3 years because I had the time to take her
Oh.
behind the chair, and I think in another world, or like even in just another circumstance like this, a salon owner could potentially have negative feelings towards that, right? Like, you left on leave and your clients didn't quote unquote come back. But for me, it's such a sense of pride. Like, I built that. Like, I instilled such a confidence in the staff that I have with my clients that are so near and dear to my heart, that they're being maintained by the girls and allowing me the opportunity to be a business owner. But I'm also getting this time to, I'm not a full-time stay-at-home mom, but I'm getting to spend so much uninterrupted time with my children that, had I been behind the chair just as a stylist, I don't know that I would have the opportunity to. It's just broadened my horizon so much and allowed me to explore so many different things about myself that I really didn't know or think would happen
Yeah.
until I was in it.
And what made you say yes to being in it? Because obviously you had choices, right? You didn't have to take over the salon and buy the salon and become a salon owner. Was there a moment, an aha moment, a push for you? Why did you decide to say, I'm going to do this now?
I think it kind of circles back to like that like negative self-talk about like, should I do this? Can I do this? And I am a very like, if you tell me I cannot do something, I will, and I
Love
will
it.
do it 100 times better than you think I will do it. And so I think that was really it for me. Like I was back and forth about should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And I think what I'm really trying to do in my salon space is redefine the salon environment. And for me, not anything specifically, but just our industry is the best for building confidence of people. We kind of spoke about it a little bit before we got on here, but I'm a very big person on like, yes, being humble, but like know your worth, know your value. And
Yeah.
our industry doesn't really provide that to a lot of people starting out, or even years and years and years in. I've had girls join me who've been in the salon industry that joined my team that said the environment that they're working in now is such an astronomical difference
Mm,
when it comes to the collaborative opportunity, the confidence building, the worth, like knowing your worth, knowing your value. So yeah, that has really been kind of what did it for me. I did it for myself, but I did it for my past self. There's like a thing in our industry, it's called like a baby stylist, right? Like when you first come out on the scene. And I think about me, a lot. Like, 10 years ago, would I have seen myself in this space doing what I'm doing now? And that answer is hell no. So
yeah.
it's so amazing. Um, Doing it for myself, but also now I have a daughter, right? She's 3 years old, and everything I do now is to, show her that she can do anything. There's not a
Yeah.
single thing in this world that she can't do if she puts her mind to it, and I think about that a lot. I'm doing it for my present self, my past self, and then, in my daughter, my future self. This is building what I'm building now is showing her that, like, you can take I mean, when I went to beauty school, there was when you talk about the negative speech, right, of like, "Should you do this? Should you not do
Hmm.
this?" That was where it really came in for me, They say that our industry and our career is not one that is self-sufficient or long-term or etcetera. Like, there's a lot of negative speech surrounding our industry, and again, full circle to, like, I'm gonna do it 100 times better than you thought I could do it, and that's what this really is doing it for me, and in doing so, I'm not only doing it for myself, my past self, my present self, my future self, but the team that I'm bringing in, my current team, any future team that we have, the environment that I've created, and I'm continuing to create, right? It's
Yeah.
new, it's 2 years old, but that is just what I'm putting my all into is building a space that I would have loved to have been able to thrive in from the very beginning of my career. And I'm seeing it come to fruition now with well, she's not my assistant anymore, but Katie, she was my assistant and she's now full stylist behind the chair. But in a year's time, she has a completely full book. And
Yeah.
that's because of, I mean, her amazing talent, her awesome personality. Of course, she's a huge contributing factor to that. But I also think like the environment for constructive criticism, but growth, confidence, open communication. Like those are so many things that I think are super important to have. And one of the big things that I instill in them is like knowing their worth and knowing the value that they bring to the table. That I feel like a lot of the time in our industry is not what is highlighted. And I think it really should be. So there's a lot of contributing factors to it, but I just think of what I would have want to see in a salon setting when I was little baby stylist Amanda and put that into what it is now.
Well, congratulations to you for
Thank
being the
you.
change maker because it takes people like you to start to change the conversation around industries, right?
Absolutely.
Have you noticed now with those that you're mentoring or just that you're a spokesperson for a more, what would you say? Just, I guess, a more positive conversation around the profession itself, that those that you mentor are speaking the same way, or have you seen a ripple effect?
Oh, absolutely. The girls laugh. I laugh at the girls a lot because they are like, they say all the time, they're like, oh, what would Amanda do? Like, how would Amanda do this? And, there's confidence in that, right? Like, I'm so proud that I've created that space, but I like laugh at them and I'm like, you guys could do it too. But It is so amazing, and I think it just brings me such a sense of pride to see what I was trying to create is created. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
ever evolving, it's ever changing, but the space that I've created is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. And, there's a little like side note there of that I didn't want it to be a space for everybody. So, like, coming into my space isn't going to work for everybody because the environment that I harness is so different. It is such a different salon space than what your average stylist is used to. I'm really big on open communication. We do quarterly meetings where we sit down and talk about numbers. I want the girls to be really aware of their earning capacity and being aware of like this can be a long-term career. This can be something that you can have success in. You don't have to be in a box because of it. But we are not the way that you go to college and you have 4 years of courses and you learn every aspect of the degree that you're studying. Our industry does not work like that. You have 1,200 in Pennsylvania, at least 1,250 hours of learning the technicalities to be able to pass our state board test. You don't learn any aspect outside of that. So that's something I really focus on. I require furthering education. So my girls have an education budget quarterly to be able to do furthering education. So we're always evolving, we're always harnessing our craft. And one of the big things that we're moving into now is service provider specializations. So I had the girls, what I value to be their most like mastered craft and what they find the most passion in and turn that into their specialization. So Nicole on my staff is our extension specialist. She can bust it down if you want some long, luscious locks. We have Jill. Jill's been with me since the very beginning. Me and Jill have worked together going on almost 8 years now. She worked with me at Zoli before I took it over as Hue. She does our lived in color. So
Awesome.
you want to wake up like this, that's Jillian. And then prior to stepping out behind the chair, I was our blonding specialist. And of course, I still love my blondies, but I recently brought Molly onto my team, and she's an amazing blonding person as well. So it's so great to have those three girls be my main heads of services, essentially, is what I'm doing. And then we have the trickle down effect. So we have Michaela just joined us, and she's really interested in vivid colors. So we're going to be working on pointing that towards her specialization. And then my Katie, she wants to be a blonding specialist too. So she's working underneath Molly and myself, and she's maintaining her own book now. So
Wow.
she's doing the most and she's doing the best. And then outside of my hair girlies, we have a nail technician who's on staff with us, and we recently brought on an esthetician as well. So the salon is actually the only full service hair salon in Mountaintop, which I think is awesome as well.
Yeah, congratulations to you on all of the
Thank you.
above. I cannot say
Thank you.
congratulations enough because it's like it just keeps building. I didn't even know that all this was happening behind the scenes. Although I've been
Thank you.
celebrating you, I didn't know that there was this much to celebrate. So
Thank you, Michelle.
that
I
is
adore that. Thank you.
yeah, that is super awesome. So tell me, obviously, you providing education and additional resources to your girls and your team is really important to you.
Absolutely.
And I know you've said previously that you're a hands-on learner. So a traditional 4-year degree was not for you. And you went to
No.
Duquesne, right? And you were like, I'm
Yes.
out of here. This is not for me.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but obviously you are managing a business successfully and you've again done it with ease, although I'm sure very difficult. You're a natural leader. So
Yes. Thank you.
how did you learn? Did you just do and then learn along the way, or how did you build this business acumen?
A little bit of both. One of the and I still it's a really big focus on me personally is I always try to do things the way that I would want them done for or done to me. And I think that's one of the like driving forces for me. Obviously, I'm running a business. I have to make sure that the business is staying profitable. I have to make sure that I'm keeping that end of things, high and tight. But at the other side of that, my team is so important to me. I have so much pride in the team that I've built. I have so much pride in the environment that I've built with the team that I have. So I always try to make business decisions, keeping them involved. If I decide it's time to hire someone, we have a meeting about it. If I decide we're bringing in a new color line, we have a meeting about it. So I feel like I've chosen to do like open collaboration, open communication with my staff, and that has definitely benefited me. Not only am I a hands-on learner, but I'm also like a very like I'm like a person who needs to verbalize my thoughts to actually get them out. Like
Yeah.
rather than a vision board, I'm a yapper. Like I need to speak my
I
truth to
love a
be
good
able to get.
yap too.
Yes, yes. And so that business aspect, or however you want to say that, that environment that I've created that is so open communication is great for my staff, but it's great for me too. So any decision that I'm making, I'm of course making sure that it's business minded, but I also have a huge importance on making sure any decision that I made is benefiting the girls, is making sure that they're being taken care of, they're understanding. That is a huge thing for me. So I think, like, to synopsize it, is that I utilize what sits with me ethically. Like, I
Mm,
really look at my sense of self. I look at like my sense of ethics, and that's what I utilize to create the business practice that I do have. And for me, it works really well. It is benefiting my business tenfold. And there are going to be people along the line that don't agree with how I practice or agree with how the salon works. And that's totally fine. I really emphasized, even when I'm onboarding people, like, the environment that I've created is not for everyone, and that's okay. Like, I would rather, like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to acknowledge that this is not the space for you, because we really are up in everybody's business. Like, that is
yes,
just how we function. But that, I think, has also helped me create the business that I have, because I do it with keeping in mind my staff that I'm growing, how I want that to look for them, how I want it to look for future staff members, and not just thinking about what benefits me as the owner, but what benefits Hue as a whole is a really important thing for me.
that's such a great philosophy, and you could just tell that you radiate this very high sense of self-awareness.
Thank
Did
you.
Was Amanda always self-aware, or did this develop over time? What advice do you have for those that may not be able to align with themselves as ethically as you do, or where did that come from?
I think it comes from, like you said, like self assuredness, but also like self confidence, self awareness. Um, I like stick to my guns, right? Like I make a decision and I stick to it. And I think that's a lot of the positivity that comes to it. Like, at the end of the day, any decision that I made, as long as I sit well with it, I'm happy with it. I can never
Love it.
control how someone else perceives a decision that I make, someone else perceives a conversation that I have, someone else perceives an action that I make. But for me, if I've done what feels good for me, what I feel like is sits ethically with me, sits positively with the business function, I'm happy with that, and I think that's a really big thing. It's the self comp, like, knowing what I'm doing is right just because I know that it's right, and I think a lot of people struggle with, like, final decision making, I guess, if that makes sense, or like
Oh,
that
for sure.
self-assuredness, like you're questioning if you're making the right decision, you're questioning if this is what you should be doing. And for me, of course I still have that moments, but most of the time I just tell it to shut up and do it anyway. So
Yeah, that's what we all should be doing. I love that. That's
yes.
great advice. Just shut it up and do it anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Amanda? Since you absolutely have this vision for an empire, what are you going to be doing? What will be happening at Hue? What's next?
My next goal is definitely to get us into a bigger space. Right now, we're kind of outgrowing the space that we currently have. So, my full term, long term goal is to be the first full service salon in Mountaintop offering massage, spray tanning. We have an esthetician on now, but currently, like, her books are a little limited because of the space that we have. We don't have a private room. So, I really want to be able to take it from just a hair salon with how we started to being a full salon spa. It's not something we have up on the mountain, and I think it's something that could really, be a good market to be in. And by expanding the services we provide, expanding the space I have allotted, that just means I can expand my team. And one of the biggest things that I've learned that I love so much in this business ownership moment of my life is having a team and having people around me, utilizing it as a mentor opportunity. And it's so amazing too, because I've been able to see not only growth in myself, but so much growth in the team that I've that we have, and it's so amazing. I actually had this conversation last weekend. Nicole, one of my stylists, she's about to become a mom. So we were at her
Mm,
baby shower last weekend, and I had said, like, I'm so proud to see how you've like progressed professionally, but also personally. And I think having that confidence in the workspace, loving coming to work, loving the team that you're surrounded by really speaks volumes to your personal life as well. And it's just so amazing to see the growth in all of the girls. Having an environment where you can be comfortable to make mistakes, but to learn from them, have it be constructive criticism, but in a kind way, have
yeah.
it be if something's not aligning with your needs, communicating that to me and me doing the best that I can to help rectify that is just my main goal, and it's something that I have so much pride in.
Have you made any mistakes along the way that in reflection you would do things differently, or are you grateful for
Oh,
any mistake
uh,
that may have happened?
I would say grateful, right? You learn from your mistakes, and I think that's something that I really try to reflect on now, especially in business ownership. I tease like I'm a mom at home, but I'm a mom at the salon too, right? Though I call them my little chickens, but like
Mm,
they're
cute.
my girls, right? I have to take care of them, and so any mistake I've made along the way teaches me to be better. And I try to have that be a big focus in my team setting as well. I think sometimes service providers get looked at as like, you have to be on top 100% of the time. Everything that you put out has to be 100% perfect. And of course, that is always our goal. But at the end of the day, we're human.
Yeah,
Everybody makes mistakes. There's not a single person who doesn't make a mistake in this world. And I think the importance is acknowledging you made a mistake and figuring the best way to rectify it. And that's what I've tried to do in any mistakes I've made in the business. And I think making mistakes is a positive thing. I think people have a lot of negativity towards that, but you don't know unless you try. And sometimes you don't know unless you fail. So
mhm.
finding what works and what doesn't work inevitably comes with having some sort of failure along the way attached to it in some capacity. So I don't want to say I have any mistakes that I regret, but I definitely like can appreciate the fact that there's been a handful and just learn from them moving forward.
For sure, and you've had all of these different experiences, so I do wanna touch on the fact that you worked at Disney World for 8 months in
Yes,
their Disney
yes,
college program, right?
yes,
And then
yes,
you lived in Harrisburg with your now husband. So
yes,
you were in 2 different places, one 16 hours away, somewhere around there driving, right?
yes,
And then
yes,
Harrisburg not too far away. But
yes.
during all of that time, when did you recognize and realize that you wanted to be a stylist? So even before ownership, how did you
Right.
make that decision?
So I laugh about this a lot because it was actually Disney World. I wouldn't say I'm like a Disney adult, but we're almost there. We're big Disney people in my family. And I grew up going to Disney. It was something that we did as a family and I just enjoyed so much. So when the opportunity came for me to do the college program, I took it. And while I was down there, I learned that the individuals who help with the parades and all of that stuff are licensed cosmetologist. So I actually started touring beauty schools down in Orlando when I was still there. And my mom at the time had said, like, I will 100% support you in this decision, but I think like going to school, maintaining a full-time job, paying rent, living on your own, like that's a lot to put on yourself. Why don't you come home and we can reevaluate after you have your degree? So that was my game plan. I was in beauty school and then I met Nick, who is my husband.
Mhm.
So life had a little bit of a different change there. But while I was in beauty school, I met Nick. And actually, a month after we met each other, he moved to Harrisburg. So that's inevitably where the move came for me. I laugh about it now, but Nick says, like, uh, I'm a very like self-assured, very headstrong person. And as I was getting ready to graduate, I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to see you every weekend because I'm be working. So like you can move home or I can move there. What do you want to do? Like
Yeah.
how can we make this work? And so we moved to Harrisburg, and I was there for about a year and a half, so
And then what brought you back home?
just home brought me
Home itself.
back.
Yeah, you said you
Yeah,
wanted that community and to
yeah.
come back where you had
We
your people.
enjoyed Harrisburg. I think it was a really good time for where we were in our lives. We were in our early 20s. It was just the 2 of us down there, so we got to, you know, enjoy the nightlife, enjoy just kind of figuring out how to live together as a couple without all of our people around, which I think actually really benefited us too, because the
Yeah.
only people we had was were each other. Um, but we were there for a year and a half, and for me, I wasn't happy in the work environment that I was there. Being in a more metropolitan area, it just wasn't exactly for me for the industry's sake. And coming back home really made me realize that. And I don't necessarily know if it was the metropolitan area or it just I wasn't finding the niche that I needed. And I don't really think I ever found that quote unquote until I worked with Maria. I think I got the closest that I could have and then built from the foundation from there. I say a lot like Maria was so fantastic in helping establish me as a stylist and then leading the way for me to establish myself as a business owner. So,
So, what do you wish you knew in your early 20s that you know now? What advice do you have for anyone listening that may be in that early 20s, even approaching 30? What did you learn?
yeah. Well, I just hit 30 this June, so that was a big one for me. But I
Woo!
just think, yes, I think like circling back to self-confidence, and it's so difficult to really um say it took me a really long time to get to that. And I think it really took going into this business ownership to really like, damn, I did the damn thing. I can do the damn thing. And I need to like let the world know that I know I could do the damn thing. And it
Ooh,
takes
I
a
love that
lot.
so much.
Yeah. And I think that's where we're lacking. I think, like, as a society, really, I think, we're taught to be humble and we're taught to be quiet and we're taught to, especially as women, right? And I'm like, hell no, baby, be loud, be proud,
Mm.
be confident in yourself. Outside of business ownership, I have so much pride in the art that I do and the work that I provide because I know I'm good at it and I love it. I love that I'm good at it. And it really shows them that, and I think my girls will giggle at me because 'cause I'll be like, "Damn, I ate down, that looks great, like, I'm not even done blow drying," and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, know your worth. I
Yeah,
know that this looks fantastic, and you know what? Your client is gonna appreciate that so much more too. I'm already, like, about hair that's not
chef's
even
kiss.
dried on your yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, like, that is just instilling so much in the person in your chair too, and I think my industry that I work in, the beauty industry, we are instilling confidence in people every single day. I would want my provider to be confident about what they're doing. And that's really in any aspect, I think in any job, a lot of the time they say like fake it till you make it. And I think that is a true, like, say it to yourself until you believe it. And that's a big thing for me. And I think the confidence thing, being loud and proud in the work you provide or the skill that you are amazing at, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that you are good at what you do and that you have pride in what you're providing, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and what are you most proud of? You've said, there are so many things you said today that I would be so proud of if I were you. So is there one thing that sticks out as emerged into your 30s, just celebrated your 30th birthday in June? What would you say you're most proud of, Amanda?
I think there's 2, right? There's the professional side. I am so proud of this space that I created. Take away the services we provided, take away the team that I have. Just I did the damn thing, and every day I go in there and I'm so proud of it. Like,
Oh,
I made
yeah.
this space. I mean, my husband and my father-in-law and our entire village were such a big part of the brick and mortar building of it, but, like, the thoughts, the processes, the policies and procedures. I did that. I took something from my mind and created a space built for the people that like want to have surrounding me and I have so much pride in that. And then on the opposite side of that, the I'm doing that all while being a mom and I get to show my kids and like my daughter. Obviously, that has always been a big driving force for me. Now I have my son too, but it is
Yeah.
amazing to be able to show them that they really can do anything if they put their minds to it, and I've lived it, I've done it, I'm doing it, and, they say small businesses have a struggle to make it past their first year of open. I'm going under year 2, and, this is just the beginning for me, so I'm sure there's so many more things to be proud of in my future, but right now in my present, those are 2 of my proudest, well, 3 of, because I got 2 little proud things at home, but 3 of my
Yeah.
proudest things in this life, so
Woo, I love thanks for sharing that. That is just
absolutely.
that is a wow wow moment, both of those accomplishments, and you have so many more, but I I feel like things happen so quickly in your world, and I know it was a quick transition for you to become a business owner, but when you transitioned, you just owned the opportunity, and I think just reflecting on your advice for maybe any 20 something that's listening to this right now or anyone of any age, if you say yes and then you own it, celebrate it, are confident in that, even if you stumbled, which you said you've had things have happened
Absolutely.
along the way, you're still getting up every day and saying, I'm doing the damn thing. I'm committed to this and I'm going to
Absolutely.
move forward no matter what. And I think that's really hard for us to do as individuals, human beings, right? Just because we have egos and all of these things that
Yes, yes.
accompany us all of the time. But I really love that you shared that. I think that's very unique about you that you're
Oh,
able to
thank
show up
you.
that way.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. So I have a few more questions for you.
Absolutely. Shoot them at me.
What is the best advice that you've ever received? I know you were working with a celebrity stylist, you said. You had Maria was your mentor,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Or anyone else. Is there something that stuck with you? And while you think, you just posted this. I think it was on Instagram and I wrote it down. So you think about your advice, but I loved something that you recently posted. You wrote, "How lucky am I that I get to spend my days helping women feel their best?" And what I loved most about that quote is the "how lucky am I?"
Yeah,
So that's why my advice question came up. I don't ask this to all of my guests, but for you,
yeah,
I wanted to know because I think that's really great advice that you give, just in the way, again, that you show up for the world. It's like, how lucky am I to do this thing? Like, it's
yes.
hard, it could be exhausting, I'm sure, but that mindset is super cool.
So going back to the question that you originally asked me, my mom has this thing. I have two sisters, right? And to all of us, she says, "Love you to the moon and back." And she'll always
Cute.
say, "Shoot for the stars." So anytime she posts anything on Facebook, any proudful moment that she has of me, it's always shoot for the stars. And so I think
Oh,
that's like a really big thing for me, right? Like just never stop trying, never stop pushing forward, never like stop going for my dreams, never stop shooting for the stars. And so that's always going to be, and it's something I want to pass down to my kids too. I've talked about it, the generational opportunity that having this business is going to offer my children is something that is a huge contributing factor to my drive. But it kind of starts back at that with my mom. I think as a mother, and you really see it once you go into motherhood, you always want more for your kids than you had. And my mom is like the standing ovation behind that. Like she's
oh.
always cheering from the sidelines. So that definitely, to answer your question, that would be it.
Thank you. That's great advice to share. Shooting for the stars. And that's something you said you and your sisters heard your whole
Yes.
lives.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah, for
exactly what you're
sure.
doing. I feel like you are in the sky right now with all the things that you've accomplished.
Yes, but circling back to that post about how lucky am I
Yeah.
really feel that. I mean, what we do is so personal, right? Like the way that they feel about themselves is a lot of the time, while like appearance facing. Of course, inward appearance is super important as well, but we help contribute to that by making people feel the best that they do in their outwards appearance. And I've been doing this for 10 years now. So the relationships that I've created, um, even from my clients, they've seen me through moves and marriages and babies and houses and second babies and business owners. That's me. On the opposite side of that, I've experienced that with my clients too. So it really is like, how lucky am I that my clients have so much trust and faith in me that they allow me to be a part of their lives. And now encompassing that in the business ownership aspect of it, how lucky am I that I have instilled so much trust and faith in the clients that walk through that door that used to come to see me, that they now have comfort in seeing the staff surrounding me because I've created
Yeah.
an environment and comfortability in, you could go to anybody, and we really mean that. I know sometimes someone will be like, "Oh, are you sure?" But no, we really mean as long as you're able to be accommodated and happy with your accommodations, please, however you see fit, whatever works best for you. And I have so much pride that I was able to do that with my clientele, but even tenfold of that, I have so much pride in the confidence my girls have in themselves to know, like, if I can't accommodate your schedule this week, so and so can do it for you. And they know that their relationship is there, that person will be back to them when they're capable of doing so. Or even if there's not, it's not a hard feeling kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're not for everybody. that's, I'm not for someone as someone else in the chair might be. And I have so much respect for that, for what I've built in that. And not only how lucky am I for the clients and the women and the men that we service, but like our entire staff and my business practice in general. Like, I'm so lucky to have the support that I've had to have the business grow that the way that it has. I'm not even at my 2-year mark yet. It'll be 2 years in November. So it's so crazy to think like, November of 2023. And this all started in fruition of like April of 2023 when Maria had decided to move. I actually opened Hue's LLC on my daughter's first birthday. So
Oh, how
April
special is
25th.
that?
Yes. So, you know, it was just me and Jill, like, from the very beginning, that was what I thought we were going into, and in a year and a half, we've built from a team of 2 to a team of 10, and I'm just so in awe of it sometimes.
You should be in awe of it. And sometimes when I'm talking with entrepreneurs, we talk about the crawl, walk, run model, right? So 2 years, technically, you would still be in that like crawling, just learning to walk if we were looking at a traditional life,
Yes.
the
Yes.
life span of a business. But you
Yes.
just went right to run. You're like, nope, we are not, we are done crawling. We are just making strides. And again, that's so difficult to do, but there's like some special magic that you have.
Oh,
And once
thank
I
you.
listen back to this episode, I'm going to capture it because I can't put it like I can't summarize it in a sentence right now. I definitely think it has to do with your self awareness and your gumption
Oh,
and the way
thank
that
you.
you're able to do that.
Thank you,
But
Michelle. Yeah.
yeah, but there's something there that has allowed you to thrive with the growth of your business too, because you've added so many people and personalities, but still it seems like the foundation that you said is so solid that you're able to then build that
Yes,
empire and continue to grow
absolutely,
the castle.
absolutely. And something I have a lot of pride in and something that I have that I really wanted to encompass in my business practice is like not being for everybody, and that's okay. And I think that's what makes my team so special is because we aren't built the same way as every other salon system structure. My business is super structured. We have policies and procedures. We have benchmarks hitting. So I have the girls be very aware of their numbers, be very aware of their percentages. And I think that was never something that I was aware of prior to doing it. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a very different practice to have, but because of that, like it's building so much more for that for me, for my business, but also for the girls as well. And so creating that foundation, I think, is really building the exact personalities that thrive in that environment, and it's working so well for us.
And since you show up differently as a business owner and as a business, how has the community outside of your clients responded to that? I know that you are so proud to be a part of this business community. Do you feel like you've received support back over the last 2 years?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's actually funny. I worked in Mountaintop for 6 years before I owned the business, and once it was I, like, call it, like, homegrown honey, right? Like, once
Oh,
I owned the space, the amount of people that came because it was mine now was so crazy to think about. And it's funny because Maria many moons ago had the conversation with me that she had an individual in her chair who found out that she wasn't from Mountaintop and was like, oh, okay, and like never to be seen or heard from again because Mountaintop people are down bad for Mountaintop people.
for
So
sure.
so the support has been incredible, and I love that it's growing into me being able to support my hometown. I try to be really involved in, um, I have clients that are on the cheerleading team, so we donated to their new uniforms this past year. We really try to give back to who gives to us. So anytime we have anybody that is a client of us that is looking for some involvement, we always work with the Kentucky Derby for the YMCA. There's just so much opportunity in the support I've received that I'm now able to return it, and sometimes in tenfold. And I just love that so much. And the community that we have in the mountaintop area and even just the valley in general, I think allows us to do that. And I can't wait to see how it grows as the business grows.
Two final questions. One is, what is your favorite thing about this community that you're now a part of? Or how would you describe it in one word? Just what is that feeling to you since you are so ingrained?
I think, like, supported. I
Mhm.
really feel like this being a business owner in my hometown really showed me the support that Mountaintop has for small business, for people from Mountaintop trying to grow their small businesses, and it is something that is so amazing, and not only in having that support, but then the relationships that grow from it. I have so many clients that have their own small businesses or that work in some capacity in Mountaintop that we're able to, like, work with one another or mutually benefiting, relationship outside of the amazing relationship we have service provider to client, but just
Yeah,
the way that I've been able to shift those relationships as a business owner rather than just a service provider behind the chair has been really amazing for me, and I'm sure, like, reciprocated from them as well.
for sure. And is there anything else you wanna share that you haven't shared already
I
before I
don't
ask you
think
your final
so.
question?
No, I don't think so. I think you're good with your questions, girl. You got everything across the board.
Oh, I really loved I love prepping for these episodes because I just get to fully immerse myself in the person that I know I'm going to be chatting with.
That's
But
awesome.
you were so fun. I just like, your laugh is contagious. I You
Thank
are
you.
so you are just you're such a bright light. So, that is what really brought me joy over this week is just getting to know you in that capacity. Obviously, we know each other informally, and in
Yes.
passing, but just, like, feeling
Yes.
really close to you has been awesome.
No,
So
I
my
love this. This was a great opportunity for us to have
Yay.
with each other.
So my last question for you is, it is 3:11 PM. What is one thing that brought you joy just today?
Well, my daughter starts school tomorrow, so our game
Oh,
plan after the podcast tonight is to go take her shopping for her new school shoes, because she's her mama's daughter and she needs some new shoes for school. And then we're gonna get dinner together as a family. So
that's
that's
really
my
sweet.
yes, that is my goal for today. And while it hasn't happened yet, I know it'll bring me a lot of joy.
Yeah, what a fun transition into the new season. Does she know what kind of shoes that she wants? Like, has she planted any seeds?
Rainbow ones. So
Okay,
now I'm
fabulous.
on the
I
hunt
can't
for
wait.
rainbow shoes.
I know you will find them. I feel like you are diligent, as we know you
Yes.
persevere. So just lock in
Yes.
and you will exceed shoot for the stars. Get the most
Yes.
rainbow shoe you can find.
Exactly, exactly.
But Amanda, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for sharing yourself and Hue with me and the audience. Thanks for sharing your advice. Thanks for sharing your confidence. This has been a really amazing episode.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. It was so great to get to catch up with you and talk to you. I want to take a moment to tell you how great I think what you are doing is.
Thank you.
You are allowing a space for women, men, entrepreneurs, small business owners, anybody to really speak their truth. And I think that's awesome. So keep doing what you're doing, girl. It's amazing.
Thanks, Amanda. I'm so happy to be here. And for all of our listeners, find one thing that brings you joy today. Bye.